Hi guys, today we're here to review the trades from November and to see exactly how I passed my 50k account. So getting into the trades from November, they have actually started from the 31st of October, where I have looked to short the downside movement from 116k. So after we have moved down from 116k, I didn't catch any short, but up to a small retest, I have started shorting from 110k and with the stop loss around 114k. Why 114k? It's because at this point, if the chart would have moved over 114k, we would have probably taken the pivots from 116k as well. The goal for this trade was to actually take the week from 10th of October, which we actually did. If you're checking it right now, so the first sell was around 110k. Then I started to keep selling into the weakness, and obviously trailing my stop loss properly. So the second and third sales were around 108k the following Monday or Tuesday, if I remember correctly. And then as the chart moved sharply lower, I started selling for the fourth and the fifth compound. Well, it's basically the first one. It's not a compound, so the S5 sell was the fourth compound instead. I have closed a trade when we took the week from the 10th of October around actually 101, 102k, because I actually thought that we could probably see a small relief rally, maybe a 5-10k if we don't take this week. So at this point, this is the first trade from November, and it actually amounted to close to 3.5% move on my portfolio, which is literally a third of what you need to pass the breakout account. So I have started with a banger of a trade, most likely, you can say it like that. Then the next one was actually when I saw the move under the 10th of October week, I wanted to start longing. Okay, so at this point I have longed on, I think, more than just Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. So the Bitcoin long started from 102k or somewhere around there, and the stop loss was obviously under the week that took the price action from 10th of October, and I have compounded into the trade up until around 106k. Why? Because I have started to think that we can possibly create a series of lower highs, and it amounted to 2.75% in profit, which is very good. Obviously, I'm also taking into consideration the Ethereum and the Solana longs that I have taken. And so the Ethereum long has also started basically with a buy and the stop loss under a week, as you can see. And then I have closed it. The thing is, when I'm taking Ethereum and Solana longs, or Ethereum, obviously I only trade Ethereum, Solana, and Bitcoin. When I'm taking these trades, I'm closing the trades just because I'm closing the Bitcoin trade as well, most of the time. So 90% of the time, if I'm taking this Bitcoin long and I'm closing it at 106k, it's most likely that the Solana and the Ethereum longs will also be closed during that price action, which I actually did. Ethereum and Solana looks kind of the same, to be honest. It's just a local pivot that I closed the trade on after I bought it and put the stop loss under the closest week. So there's that. Then what happened going into the middle of the month is I started taking a few losses as well. It's normal. So I had a Bitcoin long, and I think, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana longs, because I actually wanted this 99, 98k zone that we have put in to hold. Okay. So I have started buying around 102, 101, 100k, and I started also compounding because I wanted to see a move higher from this zone, because we already took like 99, 100K zone. We already took this liquidity from the week from 10th of October. And so I kind of wanted to see higher at least for the short term, which didn't happen, obviously. So these trades kind of amounted to a 1.15% loss, which is really good because if you're thinking about it, I was already 3.5 plus 2.75. That's around what, 6.3, 6.4% up, and then I just take a loss. It's normal at this point. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You can't really do much here. You can't really expect to win all the time. If you're expected to win all the time, then you're in the wrong, and you will probably be awoken into reality with a bigger loss than expected. So just keep your losses proper. Keep your losses around 1% maximum, maybe a bit more or less, and then just focus on having your winners run. Okay, this is how you're focusing on having your winners run. Everybody says keep your winners running and cut your losses. This is how you do it. Okay, I could have just said I don't believe that we're going lower, and I will not close my trades, and I will not put stop losses, and I would have lost a lot because the chart actually went from 100K to 80K, as you know. Okay, so I would have blown the account and whatnot. So this is what people say when they say cut your losses and let your winners run. Okay, so now we're going for the short on the 17th of November. I have coupled the Bitcoin with the Ethereum short. So what I did was I saw the chart moving lower from the point, from the inflection point of 99, 100K that I wanted. It took my my trade for a loss, and I said, okay, let's see if we can actually make a series of lower highs. I have sold around what was this, around 96, 97K, and with the stop loss around 98K, 99K, because there was the most important pivot around 98, 99. So if we actually go over to that pivot again, we will probably see a failed auction, or it's possible that we see a failed auction. So at this point I said, okay, I'm selling around 96, 97K with a stop loss around 99K, 98, 99K. And then when I saw the move down, I started pushing my trade as well. I started selling into the weakness. But at this point, my fourth compound, which is S5, has actually went into drawdown. So it was a type C idea. Okay, type C idea is important to know because it means that it's a kind of a scalp or a finisher move, as we discussed about before in the previous videos. And so at this point I said, okay, I'm okay with this win. I'm okay with this trade. It's in good profits, in great profits, 2%. That's like $1,000 for this account, and I just closed it, and that's fine. Also, the Ethereum short literally worked the same. I sell around 3.3, I think it was around 3.3, and a stop loss around 3.4, 3.5. So that's good. It was literally kind of the same. Then what happened, and what I actually probably need to work on, and this is why I'm doing these reviews. Okay, I'm doing these reviews. These are all trades, obviously, from my journal. I took them today on paper, right? Just so I can see what I actually did, what I actually thought, and what I can make out of this this journal, right? So at this point, I think I started longing aggressively because I didn't think of a move down this fast. And so I had 3 trades that amounted to minus 2.4% on Bitcoin in what is this, 3 days? Yeah, around that, yeah. So first of all, we had the move down that after I closed the trade, I started longing, which was in profits, in pretty good profits. I started compounding, but I have taken a stop loss here, and it actually amounted to I think 1 to 1.5% loss, or a bit lower, maybe around 1% only. Then I had another trade. When I said, okay, this trade is actually going pretty low, maybe I can take an opportunistic trade around 91K with the stop loss around 89K. and that didn't work either. And then I have put another trade, a limit trade overnight around 87.8k with, I remember this, completely remember this. So it was 87.8k with a stop loss around 84k, because I said I have noticed that there was a former range that we were getting into, and it had the value area high around 88k, the value area low around 80k. Okay, so I said, okay, let's see if we can actually let's see if we can bounce from this value area high and not get accepted in the former range that we were trading on a few months ago. And it didn't work out. 88k, I got out via stop loss at 84k, so that's what, a $400 loss in my positioning, and that is my initial positioning, as we discussed about. It's my wager, and yeah, this is a minus 2.4% loss. Going into the next trades, I have taken both Ethereum and Bitcoin longs, of that same idea of the fact that I have thought that if we're going into this range, we will probably go and just fill up the whole value area up to the downside, which actually happened. It's the actual pivot low for the last 2 weeks at around 80k. So my trade was from 80.8k, and the stop loss was at the big week at 74.5k. Okay, so when I did this, I actually compounded around 84k, and I closed the compound because I wasn't completely sure if I'll actually take the week again at 80k or not. Because let's be honest, we have a very sharp downtrend. You don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, so my compound, I closed it at around minus $10 because I wasn't completely sure. After I compounded at 84k, it was we were going into the weekend. We were in the weekend. I was like, okay, we can go lower for sure. So I played it safe. I just let my wager on. I was already $500 in profit. And then I started compounding with Monday and going to the next week. So I had 2, 3, 4 compounded. The stop loss is properly under the weeks. And I have closed it when we were touching around 88, 89k, just because I thought that we would go for a lower high. And we did, but as you can see, we did it later on. It was a great trade for me. Obviously, I could have kept it for higher. I could have probably compounded a bit slower, and that would have helped with my positioning not being that big, and my position not being that big, so that if it would reverse onto me, then I would have lost a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. Then we have the Ethereum long, that it looks exactly the same, right, as the Bitcoin long. So at this point, there's nothing really to talk here. I took the Ethereum trade off at the same spot as I took the Bitcoin long off, so it was also a good trade, but obviously not as profitable as the Bitcoin one that moved around 10k, right? And I was highly compounded on it, so I'm very happy with this trade, plus 3.4%. And then I had one more trade. Obviously, keep this in mind, these weren't the only trades that I took. Okay, so I had other trades that I took, but they weren't as important to keep in mind, because let's get this straight. I'm journaling my trades. I care about seeing the most important trades of the month and understanding what I actually did in these trades, what I did well, what I can do better. So I can already see I should have not longed aggressively when we were falling hard, and then I would have lost less. Okay, I should have probably not compounded as aggressively, and I could have kept the trade for longer, and I could have probably profited more. But these are just things to tweak, right? So I have to understand that this is trading. You don't know what's going to happen, and that I do good things, bad things. It just happens. But if I review my journal, I can maybe remember at some point that okay, I did this mistake, or I did this well. Let's maybe check to see if I can do it again. Trading is a game that repeats itself if you are listening to your process. Okay, so I had the Bitcoin short that won me the account 2.1% from 27th of November to the 1st of December. It started around 91k after we moved up, and I have put my stop loss around 97, 96, 97, 98k, I think it was. Yeah, 96k, because I know that there was a big point of control there, and I was like, okay, if we go out from 96k up, I'm pretty sure we will go higher. Okay, so the 91k, it actually went to 93k somewhat during the weekend, I think it was, I can't remember, but on Monday it went sharply lower, and I started compounding. Okay, I actually compounded aggressively again in the weekend. I think I probably shouldn't have done that. Again, you can see a 2 here, and it was around 90k. I probably shouldn't have done this. I expected the move to be sharper to the downside, but I shouldn't have done this because it's weekend PA, and it's pretty hard to have it reliably reliably show you the way. So when I compounded with the second position here, I have put my stop loss around 93, 94k, because at this point it was very close to actually taking my stop loss here. So maybe don't compound as heavily in the weekend, just something to keep in mind. Okay, and then at this point, when it was on Monday, I was already 2% in profit or something like that, and I needed just a bit more to push it over 55k, and so at this point I just shorted the downside movement just for a bit more profit, and I closed it around 85k, and I won the account. So that's pretty much it, to be honest, for November. And to be honest, it was a good month. I think that I did fine. I did well. 50k account in 1 month is very good, to be honest, for me, and I think it's very good as a whole. And yeah, that's it for the November trades review. Hopefully you have learned something. I have surely, after reviewing my journal, I always keep stuff in mind. Okay, I always remember these things where I go through the trades again. I understand what I was thinking. I understand if I compounded too aggressively, if I just waited too much to compound, maybe I did something good, maybe this is something good, this is something bad. I can put it in balance and understand what's going on in my mind. And so I think this is it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.